lot of clicking. There's a lot of clicking. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday Mindset meeting. I know lots of you missed me from last week because my cohort, Christopher, tried to be me. He tried to come in, take control, and take care of all that stuff. I'm so grateful to him. I'm so grateful to him. And it's always great bashing him, Catherine, when he's not here. Like I really enjoy that. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Monday Mindset meeting. Today, we're going to be chatting with Tyson Gaylord, dealing with the electronic distraction. Interesting fact, there is no Tyson. So we'll have to figure out what that looks like. What happens if there's no Tyson? What exactly we're going to talk about? I have an idea, but wait for it. If you are first time here this week, please just let us know, where you are, what kind of business you do, just what industry you're at. So that way, at least I can know. And then if Tyson shows up today, then we'll be able to have a chat with him. And if not, then that's fine too. I want to be able to take a look at that. So with that said, like I said, everyone has the chat box there. You can feel free to throw your stuff up there. So we'll be able to see all that other greatness. If not, that's fine. If Tyson doesn't show up, like in the next minute or so, what I want to do instead is some open coaching. I know a lot of coaches really don't like this. A lot of them like Q&A sent to them. I know a lot of them want this information in advance. I love improv. I love on the spot. I love just kind of getting into it. So if anyone really just wants to get in there and just put some of that stuff out there, I am game for that. And when I say open coaching, I'm talking about anything and everything. Like nothing is off limits. Like if you want to trash Christopher and you want to know all you need to know about Christopher, I can do that too. And so some of you are just joining us right now. I just want you to know we're waiting on our co-host, but if he doesn't show up, I want to do some open coaching and make the best of this, 20 something minutes that we do have left. My name is Coach Kalloo. Christopher had to fill in for me last week, had some stuff to take care of. However, I am back. And then at the end of September, I believe we have a special announcement to make about Monday Mindset meetings. So you have to tune back in. I don't know how we're going to communicate it, but you'll definitely have to tune back in. And then next week, we have this guy here, and he's really going to talk about increasing sales and kind of go from that. All right. So I don't see Tyson. So who's game for open coaching? Who's game to ask any questions about life, leadership, or business? Something that you may be struggling with, something that maybe you want a second opinion about, because as Catherine knows, I may be a little bit opinionated. So anything that you want to put to the table, let's actually do it. So who's game? And if you are game, unmute. If you are game, unmute. Like no one wants to go first. And I was like, well, I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't put it out there, and then he just trashes my great idea, right? No one knows what that looks like. But yeah, if you are game, let me know. So who is it? Because I'll pick on someone. So don't be turning off your video. Because I can see you. Don't be. Now that I don't have anything in front of me, I will do that. Again, there's a couple folks that's joined. Daryl, I know you kind of missed it. We're doing open coaching today. We're doing open coaching. So if there's anything that's on anyone's mind as it comes to life, leadership, and business, unmute yourself, throw a question my way, and I'll take it from there. I see you, Vicky. I'll come to you after. Don't be hiding. So who has, no one wants free coaching? Who doesn't want free coaching? I think it's because they don't know what's going to be on the other end of it. Catherine, I don't. All right, Daryl, you're on mute. Go. Tell me everything. How can I help? Oh, I can't hear Daryl, but it looks like he's on mute, no? Daryl, you might want to plug in your headset.
I guess I got to push in the little button. Yeah.
Like we're what, a year into this pandemic?
So coaching, how do you actually use microphones? So with our 6 months into our 2-week flatten the curve thing, how are you helping people actually keep the momentum up? and I find myself every once in a while, more and more, well, not more and more often, but
Mhm.
you get some momentum going, and then the world just kind of dictates to you, guess what's going on? So letting those outside influences or
Mhm.
things affect you, and that just slows the momentum. I found that a lot this year. Certainly lots of people I've talked to feel the same way. It's just almost so overwhelming. How are you helping your folks get through that? And
Get through that. That's a
like, yeah.
great, yeah, that's a great question. Just even last week, Christopher and I were chatting about it. You have business, you have what's happening in society, and then in my case, you have personal life stuff
Mm-hmm.
happening on top of it, right? And so how do you navigate? Here's the thing. It's okay. Like most people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, most people right about now feel burnt out. Right? Most people are really feeling burnt out. Some of us have pivoted before pivot was in, and we just kept pivoting, right? And so at this point right now, we are feeling burnt out. And so it's okay, one, to feel that, right? I know there's times people are like, hey, I got to be strong for this. I need to do this. I need to push through again. It's okay for you to simply just stop and reload, refresh, rethink, regroup, all of those things that needs to happen. And so I would often say to my clients and even myself, go back to the things that filled you up, right? The things that fills you up, the things that breaks you down, the things that allows you to just decompress and relax, right? Things that get, because it's okay not to be at your peak state at all time. And so whatever that is, that could be hiking for someone, that could be cooking. I was just saying the other day, I haven't baked anything in a long time. Like, what the hell? What's going on? And so anyone here who wants free baking, just let me know your address and your info below, and I'll send it out to you, right? But it's just, Daryl, it's about going back to the things that filled you up before all this stuff, because we actually have to be more mindful than ever before to make sure we take those breaks. Because if you have nothing, you cannot give anything. And so those clients who are just in it, I've said, you need a break. You need to take a weekend away, because not everyone can go. We can't go anywhere for a week or two, right? But you need to go somewhere. Someone even said, you know what? I live in the Northwest. I'm going to book a hotel downtown and just make a weekend of it, right? And then I'm just away, because sometimes you have to change the day-to-day routine environment. And so it's about identifying what is my peak state. And if you don't have a peak state playlist, we often call it here, you should. Let me tell you really quickly what that is. The Peak State playlist is just, for me, it's music. It's music that I know when I listen to a song, you just get into that groove, right? And this happened in my teens, where we listened to, we're going out tonight, we listen to songs. And as I got older, I realized at 8, 9 o'clock, I was like, no, I think I'm good. I think I'll just sit this one out. You know what I mean? I can't wait till 11 o'clock to be going out, right? It's just, so you get to a point where music fills you up. For some people, it's these great YouTube videos. People have YouTube videos, they just know it's inspirational, it's motivating, it's how to scrambled eggs 17 different ways. Whatever it is for you, it's go to that place. And if you don't have that, your burnout is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Did that
Yeah,
help?
it is. It does help, and it's almost, I'm finding for myself, so I won't speak for others, but you kind of
Yeah.
see it. It can be so overwhelming so quickly by going to get a coffee at Starbucks and walking to the door, going, "Crap, I forgot my mask."
Yeah.
Whether you believe in it or not, that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But you're kind of just being a good person, or whatever the case may be. But just little frustrating things that are just
And it
almost
piles up.
crazy.
Yeah, Daryl, it'll pile up on you without you knowing it. And, you snapping on someone, or especially people who are close to you, or even strangers. And you're like, Jesus, like, give me a break. And you're just like, I'm sorry, all I said was good morning. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
was just like, ooh, right? But it does. And I think that's why we have to be more deliberate. Once a day, end of day, beginning of the day, end of the week, and say, Kyle, how are you doing? right? For me, it's journaling, right? Like I find I could have some really good conversations with self or someone else who I think is going to read my journal in 100 years. Good luck to them. But yeah, they're going to read some stuff. But I find when you're able to do that and just actually allow yourself to channel that externally is going to be a little bit freeing. It's when we're not aware, right? And we're trying to be strong for everyone, and we're trying to be strong in the way that we think we're supposed to. And if you have a client facing business, that really is going to impact you, because remember, you're taking a lot of their stuff, and their frustration is also coming from their days and weeks and months. And so you're running around trying to solve it. Oh, but I thought you said you wanted this. Oh, but I thought you wanted this. Oh, and they just really probably wanted to shut down and relax. Right. And I think I saw a video once where this parent or this kid was just going crazy. And the mother said, honey, do you need a nap? So I'm just saying, have someone in your network that will say to you, Daryl, do you need a nap? Right? Because that might help.
Yeah,
I
from
appreciate
week to
that,
week,
Daryl.
you seem to need more and more naps.
I agree. But I think right now everyone's burnt out. Like it is. It's a lot mentally, physically, and that's what's happening for a lot of folks. Okay. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate that. Folks who have just kind of joined us, I saw some new folks just popped in. Today, we're doing a little bit more of an open coaching. And so if you have a question, comment, or anything that is going on, and maybe from previous Monday Mindset you want further information on, like I am game. So just unmute yourself and show your face or what have you, or just talk it out, whichever, and let me know. Ask any question, and I promise if I don't have the answer to it, Catherine does. I can tell you that right now. Is Tyson here? Tyson? Looks like you're here. I'm not sure.
I am. On my deepest apologies. I mixed up the times, and I was 7 o'clock my time. I thought it was 8. That's my apologies.
Oh, no worries, mate. Well, we only have a few minutes, Tyson, because I mean, I've been trying to entertain
I
these
jumped on. I
folks.
seen you took over, so
Yeah.
that's great.
No worries, no worries. So, Tyson, with that said, let me just do a quick info for everyone here then, and we can just right into it. So Tyson's mission is to help people learn, grow, transform their lives. He spent the past 20 years falling on his face, like most of us, right, at time to time, dusting himself off and trying again. Over those years, he's been actively learning and reading and taking on many different classes and achieving, in hopes of achieving the life that he wanted. On the Social Chameleon show, is that right? Chameleon show?
Yes.
Yeah. Their goal is to help people learn, grow, and transform into the person they want to become. In each episode, they talk about a specific topic designed to help train your mind to adopt to any circumstance, which is really about mindset, right? They also have interviews with industry leaders and experts and topics related to about books and recommendations. Weekly challenges, they are something they also explore, and they do also have monthly giveaways. Now, I'm wondering, why was I never invited to that show? But anyway,
Welcome on.
well, I know you've all been thinking about it. Let's chat more with this guy named Tyson. Tyson, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Today we're supposed to be talking a little bit about deal with electronic distractions. And so what do you mean by that?
Well, what I typically mean is mostly with cell phones. And then part of my kind of detox from that is why I'm late here. My phone was off, and as soon as I turned it on at 7 a.m. this morning, I got a voicemail, and it's like, where are you? It's 7 o'clock, and you're right here. I'm like, 7? I thought we were doing 8, and I guess I'm behind an hour in my life already. So, but that's it right there. Because I was able to have my phone off and not have it dictate my life and have it run my life for me and schedule my life for me. I unfortunately was late here, but I was also doing something else. So that's kind of the premise of this. I've been thinking about this for a while. And if we stop to kind of think about it, this has really become a problem in our society and in our lives individually. Our phones run our lives. Our phones dictate what we do, where we go, who we do, who is in charge of our time.
Right.
So if you're familiar with this kind of premise, it's built upon addiction. Just like gambling, it's the same mechanisms, this variable reward system, just like in a slot machine. You never know what you're going to get every time you pull it. So what happens is you're always pulling it because it's going to be this time, it's going to be this time, it's going to be this time. So every time you grab your phone, you're looking for this validation. Like, does everybody like me? Does somebody text me? Does somebody love me? How much likes did they get my photo? So you're rewiring your brain to be addicted to this, looking for this reward. This time I grab my phone, I'm going to be rewarded. I'm going to be loved. Something's going to be here. So we become addicted to this. And what I've kind of thought about is, I think this has gone beyond addiction into what I like to call a type of slavery. I know this is weird, and maybe the definition is weird. So I'll give you guys a definition of slavery that I'm using to kind of understand it. So this is the definition I'm working for. So I call this modern day slavery. It's a person who is excessively dependent upon or controlled by something. So if you think about that in the words of your cell phone, or your device, your social media, you become dependent on these things. You become controlled by them. Your thoughts are shaped. Your moods are shaped. Maybe your outrage is dependent upon what your device tells you is what's happening today and what you should be outraged by. And these are the things I'm a little worried about. And I would think if we can disconnect and we can take control over these things, instead of your device serving you, you're serving your device. You want your device to serve you. You want your device to be able to notify you, be able to do things, be able to get directions, be able to look up information. And changing that perspective, I think, is what I'm kind of trying to think about, focus on, and talk about.
Right. Now, Tyson, that's interesting because, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that dopamine response that we get when we see the ding or the likes. And, I haven't watched that Netflix shows, but I mean, so many people have recommended it to me. I'm not sure if you saw it, the social something. Okay. And so when I just saw the trailer, it was interesting because they were talking to people who actually created those things, the likes, the shares, with Facebook and all this other stuff. And they're saying, I did not know it was going to do this. I did not think it was going to do this. And so, and of course, one of the comments I believe someone said on there was they're saying, although we're more connected, we are so disconnected. Right?
We are, yeah.
And I think because a little bit what you just said is we're attached to these things. Now, Tyson, I don't know if this can get solved in our lifetime, though, because everything runs through. Okay, so tell me more about that.
So personally, this is what I've experienced. I felt myself in this thing. This becomes your addiction. It becomes your crutch. Nice. So what happens is you're standing in line at the store, and because we become addicted and we become accustomed to not being able to be bored anymore, not allowed to be bored. So you're constantly saying, oh, well, what's happening? And every moment you're grabbing this and you're looking at it, this is just kind of reinforces your addiction. So what I found is I was able to stop that. And what I did was I just deleted all the apps from my phone, all the social media and all the email, just deleted it all. And I kind of did like a 1 week detox. So the first few days was hard. You grab your phone and you're like, nothing's here. So then you stop. So after a couple of days, you really stop that reflexive thing of grabbing your phone. And then from there, I decided, what am I going to install back on my phone? And nothing. I just didn't install nothing back. And then addiction pretty much has gone away. I think also meditation helped me before that step before. Being mindful of being on an app and saying, sometimes you grab an app and you get distracted as whatever's happening. And then you're like, oh, and then but what I found through meditation was I'd be scrolling on the app and I'd be like, why am I still here? But having that ability to just go, whoa, and catch myself over time, I was able to stop and say, this is what I went on here for. I'm done with it, and get off. So I think it is something solvable. And then if we have the mentality of it is solvable, we can solve it. But if we have this thing of, we can't solve it because I have to have my Uber, I have to have my maps, I have to do these things, then we're stuck in this pattern, and we can stop that by just changing the way we're thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think, I agree with you, Tyson, on that. I think from my mindset, it's usually always about, being able to know that it exists and what is my purpose for using it. Right? Because trust me, I'll tell you, when I get on the phone and someone says, the waiting time is approximately 35 minutes, I was like, oh, do you know how 35 minutes can go by really quickly? Let me just open up TikTok. It's amazing how that time just moves through it, right? But I agree with you. For those who are feeling that I have to do it, or I'd rather do it instead, it's almost like what video games used to be. I was having a conversation with a mate just on the weekend, is when you used to play by yourself, right? And you just got carried away in it, and that's all you did was stay in your room and, kind of did that. But now that you can stay connected and play with other people, it's a little bit, different. But like anything, it can really distract you on what that is. And I think for me, it's about how are you more mindful that this is what it is. Either you set a timer, either you move it or not move it. And it's how you've done it. I know with certain life events that it's great to just use it to stay connected to all these other things. But I think when you choose it over everything else, Yes, I think that obviously has more of an issue on everyone. Because here's the thing, Tyson, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually distracting you from the things that you said you want more of in your life.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And that's what I want people to kind of think about. I want you just to change your relationship with your device and say, this device is serving me. I'm not subservient to my device. I don't have to stop everything I'm doing, stop my work, stop my family. Oh, your son, please hold on here. Somebody on Instagram just notified me. Hold on. I need to see this. That's not the problem. When we're so subservient to this, we're so addicted to that, like your family, the things happening in front of you, your work, you're in the middle of your work, somebody dings you for who knows what, you stop everything. That's what I want people to be mindful of. I want us to stop those things. And if we take a lot of us, we get a new phone, maybe we've had this phone forever, we've never gone through and turned off the notifications and turned these things off and stopped these things and decided what's going to bother me. Have you decided what is going to come through my device on the day-to-day thing? What things can I set up on my device that stops these things from happening? That's the kind of the way I want us to think about it. Use your phone, enjoy TikTok, enjoy Instagram, enjoy these things, but enjoy them when you want to enjoy them, not when somebody else is requesting for you to come on and be a part of it and disrupting your life. Because like you were saying, you're stopping. I just, since I've started this, I just observed how many people stop in the middle of their life and are just stuck to their phone. I was in Costco on Saturday, and the lady's walking, all of a sudden she's on her watch.
She's walking. Well, that's a long time looking at the time, right? You think?
No, she's not looking at the time. She's got a notification. Yeah. Who knows what? Is it important? Probably not. Are you a surgeon that somebody's dying and you don't need to look at that? It doesn't need to happen, but that's the thing. She's in the middle of her life and stopped by somebody else's request for her time. My thing is, go on there, but schedule. Like I schedule time to go on my devices. I schedule time to check these things. And on my phone, the apps, I can stop them. If I've been on Instagram for more than 30 minutes a day, it shuts off for the rest of the day, and I'm done. Hey, I kind of abused my privilege today, and that's the end of it,
It's like
and if I need to go do something, get on the computer, put it in your calendar. I'm going to go and I'm going to check my messages. Maybe it's for business. That's great. But schedule time to check it. Don't be subservient to these apps and these devices and these things.
Yeah. And what I've said to some of my clients too, who are in the consulting business, because I feel every call comes in. I said, if you're with someone, you're doing something, like same thing with calls and emails. I go, you should put those in blocks of time. Because if not, make no mistake, we could be on emails all day, because one email, then they got to reply to the email and you're still doing another email. And so there's times where you just have to say, these are my chunk of time that I check emails. These are a chunk of time I'm going to make phone calls. And it allows you, the idea is for you to get most of what you need to do. Now, if you're getting your stuff done, what Tyson and I are saying is, we're not saying don't use Facebook. We're not saying don't use any of those things. But if you're getting your things done that you want, and that included 4 hours of Facebook or whatever, knock yourself out. It's for those folks who are saying, oh my God, where did the day go? I didn't get this done. I'm so behind. That's what we're talking about. I'm so busy. Don't start me on that word, Tyson. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm so busy. There's other things that happens. Someone in the chat mentioned just, he said he's with the guy who deleted all the games, all the stuff off their phone, and then find that in moments he's searching for it. He's searching for something else. He's searching for it, looking for it, anything to do, which is kind of indicating that addiction. Mindset.
And it's okay. We're scared of being bored as a society nowadays. And let me tell you, being bored is a wonderful treat. Your mind is able to relax. Your mind is able to be freed. You're able to solve problems when you're bored because your mind is able to bring these things back forward and able to kind of ruminate on them and and the things that you're struggling with, you're going to find solutions to. So be bored when you're standing in line. It's okay. And catching yourself. Oh, where's that thing? Oh, and put it back in your pocket and say, what can I observe in life? What can I look around and do? Can I be bored in this moment? Maybe pull up something you're struggling with and see if your brain work on that.
Yeah. I mean, I like how you've used the word bored there. I mean, I grew up with a different connotation of the word bored, only because when I used to say bored to my mother, she said, oh, that's someone who's failed to recognize they have something to do. And
that's what my mom said. You're bored? I got something for you to do.
I have something for you to do. But I think what you're saying is allow yourself to be mindful, which I think the meditation helps with. Allow yourself to actually have void thoughts, right? Like
Yes.
not everything needs to be. So coming into that, just the interest of time, Tyson, what is like one or two things that you can be suggesting to folks if they want to avoid or deal with or manage now, because we're so into this, what can we do to not get distracted? Because I think you said one or two things already, but I just wanted to be able to kind of put it in bite-sized form for people. What are some things that people could start doing this week?
So this is what I would suggest. Go on into your phone, into the settings on iPhone or Android. There's settings that show you how long you're on each app, and then the most highest apps will be on the top. Look at that 1 or 2, 3 apps and say to yourself, can I limit myself on these apps? Can I turn off the notifications? Can I, say you're on Instagram for an hour and 30 minutes. Can I do an hour and 15 minutes this week? And set yourself maybe some type of timer on that. A lot of these devices, you're able to set a limit and start to come down on that. Secondly, turn off all your notifications. Anything that's not critical to your operation, that is not critical to you being interrupted from your work, turn all those notifications off. Go and spend a few minutes on your lunch break or this evening, turning off all the notifications, getting rid of all those things so you're not being constantly distracted. And a lot of times, even if your phone is on silent or vibrate, on the background to yourself, you have this low level of anxiety. Is something happening on my phone? Because you don't have that notification happening. So you're sitting there and you're constantly in a state of angst. Is there a notification? Is there a thing? But if you turn all these things off, you're not going to have that. And it's going to really free up a lot of your time. So I think between those two things right there, you're going to make huge leaps and bounds in your progress. You're going to find this sense of, I'm able to get more things done. I'm not as anxious, and your day's going to flow a lot better.
Yeah, and even with the notification, I mean, I do this, and I know I'm not helping people by doing it because I'm not a slave to my notifications. Those little red dots. I don't know what it is on Android, but on the iPhone, it's the little red dots, and I have a lot of them on my phone.
Yeah.
And I will take a screenshot and I post it, and I have people who threaten that they will unfollow me, they will remove me because I'm stressing them out. Right. So it comes back to that connotation that we feel slave to, trying to clear the red dots. And I see a few of you trying to hide your smile. I see a few of you trying to turn away. But I get it. Right. And I think what we're saying is just be mindful of what's happening for you in that moment.
On Android, we can turn off that red dot. And stop showing that. I don't know if iPhone can do that. If you can, please try it. If you have a problem doing that, I know people that I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to clear all this out. What? You're going to spend how much time on this frivolous thing when there's so much more happening, even if it's just to take care of yourself, give yourself a moment to exercise, to walk, to breathe. Don't do that. Just try to turn that off if you can. If not, challenge yourself to work on that and look at this note. Let's say, 370 unread emails. Yeah, that's nice. And I'm okay with that. And put it down.
Yeah, make no mistake, I am. But I just know so many people.
Yeah, no,
right?
I agree. Yeah.
And the incident, and we have to be mindful because I see this a lot. I mean, I have younger cousins and even other people do that. I have read receipt on my phone because sometimes I just want the person to know, yeah, I've read it. I may not respond right away, what have you. But I find when they notice that I've read it, I get the question marks.
Right. Yeah. They expect a reply back.
Right. And there's times where I'm like, and they're like, hey, I text you and I can hear back from you. And I said, yeah, because I was doing something.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's that's kind of the expectation.
We set. Expectation.
Yeah. We set this expectation. So, the average email is read in 4 seconds. That's insane. That's basically you're instantly checking that email when you get a notification of it.
They should read my emails. Who's doing
that? Yeah. And I know people, they're like, they sit there and they just wait for a reply back. And they're just sitting there just waiting and just waiting. I know people, I know one guy, he's just famous for being able to be gotten hold of at any time of day in a moment's notice. And that's the expectation he's set for people. Right. 3 o'clock in the morning, you message him, he will get back to you immediately. Yeah. And he said, he's like, I can't handle this, but I have set this expectation for people. I am known for being this guy now. And he feels he cannot break away from that.
Yeah, well, there's a few coaches that we know could help him, right, Tyson? So.
Yeah, absolutely, right. But when you're in this mindset, like how we started this conversation off, when you said we can't get away from this, it's just something we think in our head, like I can't stop this. And that, we're gonna challenge that. When you're saying this to yourself, that's addiction talking. You know,
Yeah.
You think about this in the context. If you had a friend that had a problem and said, "I can't put this beer down," you would stop them. Like, hold on, buddy, you can. If somebody had drugs and said, "I can't put this down," or a gambling habit, we would stop them. But with the devices and the foods and these other things that societally seemed accepted, we let that stuff go. So we got to challenge ourselves with that. When you have anything in your life, you're like, "I can't stop this." That's when you say, "Oh, I got a problem."
For sure. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I think the comment was, I don't know if this could be solved in my lifetime. I mean, it's no different than world hunger and gambling addiction. And I don't know if I'll ever see a world where we don't have it, right? In the meantime, it's something that we say here as an organization. There's nothing wrong to strive towards we call it 1,000-year vision. I know I will not see it, but it doesn't mean I can't work on it, which is kind of what you're saying, right? So although we may not solve it, it may be an unsolvable problem, but there's nothing wrong with us trying to say, if it's not working for me, I can do something about it, right? And so I appreciate that. So Tyson,
I'm sorry, can we stop 1 second? I still kind of want to pause on that. I feel that statement is still limiting ourselves. And when we're saying we can't solve this in our lifetime, I think we're really limiting our thinking. We're really limiting our ability to problem solve. If we kind of shun this off and say, well, I'm going to work on this, but it's not going to happen in my lifetime. I think we're limiting our thinking. We're limiting our problem solving.
You're right.
I just want to challenge yourself. I'm going to challenge myself as well to say, why am I thinking I can't solve this in my lifetime? And maybe I can. Maybe we can do a 10-year plan. Maybe do a 5-year plan. I just want to just put that out there. I think we can challenge
for sure. Absolutely. I think that could be for most things as well, right? I mean, I think it's the connotation of try versus not yet. Or when someone say, I'm not good at it, we usually would say yet. Add yet to it, right? I'm not good at it yet. Absolutely. So I appreciate that. Folks, that's our time. And Tyson, really quickly, we have your information, but do you have anything coming up that you want folks to know about, how to reach out to you? We already have your contact stuff in the chat box there. Any last summary before we kind of...
No, if you're interested in stuff like this I talk about on the podcast, check it out if you want. Get my information if you want to see more things I share and things I think about. Go ahead and reach out or see what I've already shared. Other than that, thank you for your time, and I apologize for me being late.
It's all good, mate. Great recovery. Those are all good things for everyone. Folks, again, we have in the chat room Tyson's information. His website's also there if you do want to check out his podcast and the show. It's all there as well. And again, thank you so much for being on. And I appreciate the challenge. I appreciate, when it comes to the mindset, it's really about how do we think differently, because it's going to allow us to act differently, right? And sometimes it's about taking those imperfect, inspired actions. Guys, have a fantastic week. Justin is here next week. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you again next week. Have a blessed week.